Hi everyone. The problem now that we are going to solve involves the input table as sale details. This table has below column item ID, which is the ID of the item name, which is the name of the item unit price, that is the unit price of the item quantity, that is the quantity of the item that was sold, item sale date, that is the date on which the sale was done. So every entry indicates the information related to the item as to what was its unit price and how much quantity got sold on a given day. So this is the input. Now, as part of the output, we have to find all the entries which are YTD entries for a given input date. Now, what is a YTD entry or year to date entry? So it means that all the entries starting from 1st of January till the given date or the current date. So for example, today's date is 29th August. So YTD entry will be all the data starting from 1st of January 2023 till current date. Talking about this scenario, it will be all the entries starting from 1st of January 2023. So it will include all the highlighted entries as part of the YTD, which is less than equal to the given input date. To understand further, let's see more examples. So the same input data is here. Now say that input date is 25th May 2021. It means that we have to fetch YTD entries starting from 1st May 2021 till this date, 25th May 2021. So out of the given data, only the first record satisfies that range. Okay. So for that year, 1st January 2021 till 25th May, only one data satisfied that. Similarly, if the input was 30th August 2022, we will not look for the other data. We will look only for the data for that year starting from 1st of January till the given date. So till 30th August. So we will have only these three entries. Remember that the starting date is 1st of January of the given year of the input. Similarly, if the input was 13th April 2023, it means that we will start from 1st January 2023 and go till 13th April 2023. So 1st January entries, after 1st January we have these entries, and if we go till 13th April, we will have this as the output. So hope YTD concept is clear as to we have to fetch the data from 1st of January till the given date of that year. Now, how do we solve the problem? So if we are given this date, how do we just fetch this data? Or if we are given this date, how do we fetch only these three entries? And similarly for this, how do we ensure that we get only the entries that we are looking for? That is the YTD entries. So for this, we have two approaches, and I'm 100% sure you will like the second approach the best, but we will start with the first approach. So what is the first approach? We will first understand what it is, then we will write a query to implement it. So to make things simple, say our input date is 3rd of January 2023. It means that if we want the YTD entries, it should lie in the range 1st January till 3rd January. That is 1st, 2nd and 3rd January entries. But how do we select the range? Okay, how do we get the range that the starting date is 1st January 2023 till this date from the implementation perspective? So from the implementation perspective, what we will do is first we will find out which day of the year is 3rd of January 2023. So 3rd of January is the third day. So first, second, third. So third day. Similarly, if it was 1st of February, so 1st of February is 32nd day of the year. So on similar lines, 3rd January is third day of the year. Now we will subtract 3 days from this date, from the input date. Let's subtract 3 days. So what we will get? 31st December 2022. Now we have to simply take all the records after 31st December 2022 and which are less than equal to this given date. So if we follow this logic, we will get the YTD entries. So now we will work on this approach and implement it and see the output. We will ensure that for each of this input, we get this required output. So let us implement the approach one. So now what we will do is we will operate on this input data, that is sale details. So like we said, we have to, as we discussed here, we have to find from the given day what is the input date. So first of all, we will define this input date which is to be received from the user. So we will define a variable. How do we define a variable? We will use the declare statement. So let's use declare statement and let's call our variable. Let's define it at the top. So let's call our variable as input date. Remember, any variable has to be defined by using @sign. And then let's give the data type, that is date. Now we will set the value to this. So we will set the first value that we will be operating on, that is the 25th May 2021. So 2021, 25th May. So this is the input. Now let's remove this data as we already are aware what is the input. So what we will do now, we will find out which day of the year is 21st May. Okay. So how do we do that? We will use the date part function, and the first parameter that we pass, we will call it as day of year. Then we will pass this input date. So let's check this and then we will understand better. So 25th May is 141st day of the year in 2021. Okay. So once we have that, now what is the next step? So as part of approach 1, we have to subtract that many days from this input date. Okay. So we will just subtract these days. For that, we will use the date add function. So let this be here for understanding purpose. This is number of days number of days of the year. It is a long column name, but it's fine. Now what we will do is we will subtract these many days. Okay, we will subtract these many days from this date to get the last day of the year. So for that we will use the date add function. We will say that we want to subtract the days and pass the negative sign for subtracting these many days. So we will get the start day date, we can say start date is what we will get. Okay, and we have to pass the date from which we have to subtract these many days. So this will be like 141 days we have to subtract from this date. Okay, so let's run and see this. So we are able to get 31st December 2020. That is the last day of the previous year. So now what we will do is we have to simply take this as in our filter condition. So we will take this in the filter condition, and now we will pass it on the sale date column, item sale date column, and we will say that item sale date is greater than this date whatever we have fetched. Okay, and the second condition will be the item sale date will be less than equal to the input date. So hope this is understood. Let's remove these columns now and fetch all the input columns. Going back to the approach once more. So what we have discussed, first of all, we have found out how many days that particular day is from 1st of January of the year. Then we are subtracting that many days to get last day of the previous year. After that, we will fetch all the records greater than the date that we just fetched and less than equal to the input date. So this is what we have. Let's run this and see the output. So we are just fetching the one record. And as we see in the expectation, this is what we have. We have just fetched one record, which is the YTD record. Okay. So now we will check for the other inputs as well if we are getting the right output. So now we will check for 30th August 2022. So 30th August 2022. Let's run this now. And also let's sort it by the order date so that it's easier to visualize. Item sale date, let's sort it by that date. So let's run this. So we are getting 14th January, 25th July, 14th January, 25th July, and 8th of August 2022. So we are fetching the data correctly. Finally, let's test for the last one, 13th April 2023. So 13th April 2023. So we have 7 entries, and these are those 7 entries. So we have correctly fetched the required data. The Excel data and the data that we have fetched is exactly matching. Let's see it side by side to confirm it further. Okay, so these are the output that we expected. 9th of January. Okay, so we have 9th of January in the output, and from 9th of January onwards till 6th of April. So we are getting the required data. So we are good. So it means that we have correctly implemented the approach one and we are getting the YTD entries. How we have done it? So just to summarize, we have first found out which day of the year is this input date using the date part function. After that, we have subtracted that many days from this input date itself to get the last day of the previous year. Then simply we are finding the range of records wherein the sale date is greater than the previous year's last day, so that it will pick 1st January of the current year and less than equal to the input date. So we will get the YTD entries only. So this is the first approach. Now let's go to the second approach, which is more easier as compared to, maybe this might be complicated, but the second approach is very easy. So let's see the approach. What is the approach 2? So in approach 2, if the input is 3rd of January 2023, we will get all the entries whose year is same as this inputs year. Inputs year is 2023. So get all the records where year is 2023. Once we have that, simply take only records which are less than equal to the input date. So for example, fetch all the record from 1st January 2023 till 31st December 2023, and then further on reduce to get this range that is less than equal to the input date. So hope this might be more easier, it might sound more easier as compared to approach 1. So let's implement this approach now. So what we will do is we will just remove everything, and we will just have the input details. So this is our input table. Now what we will do is, we will directly start adding the filter condition. So for each of the input, we will check if the year of the item sale date if that is equal to the year of the input date. Okay, so let's run this and see the output, and let's order it by the in item sale date so that it's easier to visualize. Let's see the output. So now we have given the input as 2023. So since we have given this condition, it will fetch only the records where the year is 2023. So like we see, we don't see anything from the other years. The second step that we will do is we will add a AND condition, and what we have to do is we have to say that get only those entries where the date is less than equal to the input date. Okay, so less than equal to the input date that is given. So the first condition is all the entries should have the same year as the input year, and second thing is only the entries where it is less than equal to input date, so that we reduce on the number of records. Let's run this and see the output. So for 13th April 2023, we have got the required 7 records. Okay, so this is what was expected. So we have got those expected records. Quickly, we will check for the other days. Let's see if we are getting 3 entries for 30th August 2022. So 2022 August 30. Let's run this. We are getting the 3 records that is expected. And finally for 25th May 2021. So 25th May 2021. Let's see the output. So we are able to fetch the required YTD entries. So hope it is clear how we have implemented it. We have applied both approach 1 and approach 2 and got the required results. So please go through it. If you find the video useful, please like it. If you have not yet subscribed the channel, please subscribe and please provide your feedback in the comments. Also, please share this video with your friends who may find it useful. Thank you.